Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Yes, it is hump day. I'm excited about that. I hope that you guys are too. That means we are at the midpoint of the week, and oftentimes I like to jump in on Wednesdays just because it gives us something to look forward to, right? We can look forward to the weekend. Friday is just around the corner. So here's the thing. This morning I was thinking about fear. You ever think about fear? Like, oh my gosh, like just the anxiety around fear. It is such a powerful emotion. It is an emotion that can grip us, that can stop us dead in our tracks, that can cause us to create all kinds of stories and all kinds of things that run through our minds. And before you know it, it's stuff running through our body, like all of the tension that we feel in our shoulders, the headache sometimes, the sick stomach feeling or nauseous feeling in our stomach. Like that's what fear does. And so this morning I'm thinking about fear. And there's something that I'm working on right now, and there's the question that always comes up, like, oh my gosh, if I do this and it doesn't work, then what? Like, have you ever asked yourself that question? Like, we sometimes just stop right there. Like, if I do this, oh man, sometimes you might think of an idea, and it might be so crazy and so off the top that as soon as it comes into your mind, you're saying, nah. That's just too off. That is just too way out there. That is just, ooh, I don't even know how to, like you start going down that road in your mind. And before you know it, it dictates what you do or what you don't do. So this morning, I'm thinking about fear. I'm thinking about, oh my gosh, this feels so big to me that what if it doesn't? And then I have to stop. And as opposed to asking ourselves, what if it doesn't work? Maybe ask the question, well, what if it does work? Hey, Craig, happy day after birthday, right? I know you're still probably celebrating, so kudos to you, brother. Thank you for jumping on really quickly. Talking about fear this morning. Fear is something that will stop us dead in our tracks, but sometimes we have to press past that fear. And I know it's crazy, and sometimes it doesn't sound as easy, or the actions to do it is not as easy as it sounds. But the reality of it is sometimes when we think about doing something, sometimes when we think about stepping out there to do something that perhaps you've never done or perhaps has never ever been done or hasn't been done to your knowledge, whatever the case, we have to ask ourselves the other question. Well, what if it does work? Like, what if I do this and it actually works? See, that's the question that I want us to ponder this morning, as opposed to being gripped by the fear, saying, oh my gosh, it's too big, it won't work. Just say, well, you know what? What if it does work? Here's the other thing. Sometimes when we think of something that is so big, the thing that we do is we try to go from A to Z all in one thought. Like you try to think about all the little details and you try to get all the pieces put together in one thought. And that's the thing that will overwhelm us to the nth degree. That's the thing that allows fear to set in and say, oh, nope, you got to stop right there. So my question is this: what if not only did we say, well, what if it does work, but what if we said, what if I just take one step? What if I don't try to solve the whole equation all at one time and I just take one step? Like, can you just think about that for one moment? If I just take one step, okay, got that complete. I can check that off the list. And then I take another step. Okay, got that. Then I can check that off the list. Okay, then I can move on to the next step and move on to the next and move on to the next and move on to the next. And then you can start to see possibility. Because oftentimes that's exactly what we do. Like, we get the thought in our head and we say to ourselves, we check ourselves out of it immediately because we say, oh gosh, that's too big. What if it doesn't work? And I'm saying, when you get that thought in your head and you say, oh my gosh, that's too big. What if it does work? What if it does work? And what if I only had to take one step right now to bring it about? What if I only had to take one step, just one step, not the whole enchilada? I always say this to my clients, and sometimes we try to think of this concept of transformation and change as this big, giant thing. And for some of us, a lot of us, yes, depending on the change, it is big. But there is absolutely no way that we can bite the entire elephant all at the same time. So one chunk chunk, one shift, one move. So here's a question again. I'm going to ask it because I want to make sure that this is seared into your brain today on this Hump Day Wednesday. What if the thing that you are thinking about doing sounds so big and you say to yourself, well, you know what? What if it does work? What if I try this and it actually works out for me? What if I try this and it actually makes a difference? What if I try this and it actually becomes the very thing that can create joy, fulfillment, whether it's financial, personal, spiritual, physical, whatever it is? What if I do it and it does work? Then what if I take one step? Like, what if I don't try to do it all at one time and I just take a baby step, a baby step, a baby step? You know how it is. When you think about a child who is at one time an infant, and once they get close to the age where they start walking, they don't just run a marathon. They got to take baby steps. And oh, by the way, sometimes, guess what they do? They fall down. They fall down. They might feel a little uneasy. Got to share the story really quickly. So when my son started walking, this is a funny story. I will never forget the day. We were all in the family room. My family room over here to my left. My daughter, my husband, and I were all in a circle. And he starts walking, and of course we built this circle around him, right? So our legs are touching. So he's got this barrier so he doesn't wobble outside of his comfort zone. And so he's walking, and he's like feeling his rhythm, and he's like, oh my goodness, this feels good. So he goes back and forth, and we're just laughing and and oh my gosh, he's walking, and he was having fun with it, and you could see the look on his face because he had discovered something new. Well, let me tell you this. Through the course of that time, he fell down. And do you know that joker did not walk for another 2 weeks? Like, he went back to crawling. He went back to crawling because he was like, wait a minute, this does not feel comfortable. I was walking and feeling the rhythm of my legs, and then I fell and I hit the floor, and it didn't feel too good. So he stopped walking. 2 weeks. He would just crawl around the floor, like going back to his old habits. And we're like, okay, we've seen you walk. We know you can do it. So it's just a matter of time before you rediscover the very thing that gave you liberation. And once you rediscover that, we know you're going to go back to it. So 2 weeks later, guess what he did? He went back to it because he could feel the feeling and he knew the freedom that walking gave him. Now he could discover new things. Of course, we had to be more on guard, but that's just, that's what it is. So why am I sharing that story this morning? Because fear will cause us to sometimes fall down and not want to get back up because maybe we don't realize that, there are going to be some moments when we fall down. There are going to be some moments in this trying this thing one step at a time that might not work. We may have to retweak. We may have to talk to new people, learn new things like, okay. But fear, false evidence of something appearing real, it's the stories that we create in our minds. So the question again to you is, what if you say, let me think about what it would look like if it did work. Let me just ponder that for a minute. Let me allow my mind to go there instead of all of the other stuff. And then what if I just took one little baby step? Yeah, I might fall. It might take me 2 weeks to get back up, but I'm going to get back up because I realize it is too important. I realize it is too significant. I realize the liberation. I realize the freedom that comes when I just step out there one step at a time. One step at a time. So I wanted to share that because today my thought was around fear. Like, oh my gosh, this is so big. What if it, and I had to stop and say, but what if it does work? What if it does work? So I got to keep going. I got to keep trying. I've taken some little baby steps and I'm going to keep taking the steps and keep taking the steps because on the other side of it, I'm like, if it works, then oh my gosh, that's all I'm going to say. So I want you to think about that today, this Wednesday, Hump Day. And I want you to go through the rest of this week and say, what is it that I am afraid of? What is it that I would not do or don't want to do or scared to do because I don't know what other people are going to think. I don't know how people are going to respond to me or react to me. What is it that you're thinking about today that if you just ask yourself the question, what if it does work? And what if I take one step? Oh, okay, got that. And then I take another step, like what would happen? Ask yourself that. And then I want you to get in action on it. I didn't say get in action on the whole thing. I said get in action, which just means all you have to do is take one step. See, when we take one step and then another step, it gives us the opportunity to readjust, to replan, to refocus, right? Because then we're just doing little things at a time and we get to tweak and we get to change and we get to adjust. if we need to. But if you don't do it, you'll never know. Thank you, Alicia. I appreciate that. I appreciate your feedback because that gives me energy. Sometimes, fear will tell me not to get on here and share because, oh, what will people think? And, oh, what if only one person gets on? And, oh. But you know what? Hey, what if I get on and it does make a difference? What if I get on and it says something that allows you to move into the thought process and the action behind what it is that I'm saying? See, we're not alone. You and I are on this journey together. So wanted to share that with you. Good morning. Good morning. Have a fantastic day. It's cloudy. Yep, here where I'm looking out my window, it is cloudy. But guess what? It's a beautiful day because I'm breathing in my right frame of mind. I got some gas in my car. Actually, let me take that back. I don't have a whole lot of gas in my car, but I have some money to go to the gas station to put some gas in my car. So let me go do that so I can get to getting for the rest of the day. But thank you so much for allowing me to just share. So now, what do you think about fear? Just want to know. So listen, if you feel so inclined to post a response to this, if something resonated with you, I appreciate it. If you check it out on the replay, just #replay. Let me know that you checked in with me, and I appreciate you so much. So I'll be catching up with you guys again real soon. Until I do, I want you to take care, be well, and go ahead and tackle that fear. All right. Have a great day, everybody.